So I'm going to explain a word, and then I'm going to explain and talk about a concept, an idea. The word is paradox. Paradox is a statement or a situation or an idea that appears to contradict itself, appears to be the opposite of what it actually is, because it goes against common knowledge or what people actually believe to be true. And it contains or it has some truth in it. For example, they say the more you know, the more you realize that you don't know. This paradoxical statement suggests that as our knowledge grows, as we learn more, as we have more knowledge, as we gain more knowledge, our awareness, our understanding of our own ignorance, of our own not knowing, also increases. So the more you know, the more you actually realize that you don't know much. And you see, it seems contradictory. It seems like the opposite, because when you think about it, you're like, yeah, well, if I learn something, that means I know more. The truth is, yeah, maybe the more you learn, the more you feel confident in a field. But in general, this paradox, this statement, emphasizes the never-ending nature of learning and that there's always more and more to discover. And the reason I'm talking about paradox is because I wanted to explain a concept. I wanted to explain an idea that's called the backwards law. The backwards law. Backwards, like going back, the opposite direction. And this idea or this concept was, if you guys know Alan Watts, he was a very, very famous philosopher in the United States. You can look him up, Alan Watts. But this idea was actually popularized by him. But the origin of the idea goes all the way back to Taoism. It's like kind of like a religion or something like Buddhism. But Alan Watts kind of popularized it and talked about it a lot. So it's called the backwards law. What is the backwards law? The backwards law is a principle where the opposite of that principle might be the truth. I'll give you an example. Everyone wants to be happy, right? Everyone wants to be happy. But according to the backwards law, the more you try to be happy, the more you are telling yourself that you are not happy with your current situation. The more you emphasize that you are not happy with your present situation, with the situation you are in right now. So that means you are rejecting, you are resisting your current situation, and this makes it harder to be happy because you're not satisfied. This is actually from a website called theknowledge.io. You can look at the article yourself too, but there are some really, really good examples. And the reason I'm talking about this is because we are looking to get better at life or get ahead in life. Financially, we want to make more money. We want to achieve more because we think that somewhere down the line we become happy once we achieve what we're trying to achieve. But the truth is, the harder we try to be happy or satisfied, the harder it becomes to be satisfied. Let's talk about control. You're trying to control a situation. right? So the more you try to control a situation, or the more you try to control your feelings or your impulses, the more powerless you feel. Because, life is chaotic, life is messy, and our emotions can also be chaotic and, up and down. And sometimes you can't control your emotions. But your desire to control your emotions actually makes the problem bigger. Like, let's say you are angry and you want to suppress this emotion. I don't want to be angry. Or you're sad, but you're like, no, I want to control my feelings. I don't want to be sad. This is going to make you even sadder. It's going to make you more sad because you're trying to control the situation. You're trying to control and suppress your feelings. On the other hand, the more you accept your own emotions, the more you accept your impulses, your feelings, the better you'll be able to control them. The better you'll be able to process them because you are accepting of your feelings. You're not judging yourself. Think about freedom. Everyone wants to be free. Oh yeah, we want freedom. We want freedom. Especially when we think about America, the land of the free. There's freedom. You can do whatever you want. But our constant desire for more freedom, ironically, limits us, puts limitations on us. The more we want to be free, the more freedom we want, the more limited we become. Because the more freedom you have, the less power you have for yourself, because you can't focus on a few things. You have all these options that you can choose from. So you have to limit yourself. On the other hand, you can truly exercise your freedom by limiting yourself. By choosing to do certain things and avoiding other things, because freedom can also lead to destruction. Just because you're free doesn't mean you can go commit crimes. Just because you're free and you're allowed to go drink alcohol, for example, doesn't mean, oh yeah, I can go and do that. True freedom is limiting yourself for not doing certain things that are not good for you and choosing to do things that are good for you. The more you try to make other people love you or accept you, the less they will. And more importantly, the less love and acceptance you will have for yourself. Because the more you try to make other people love you or accept you, the more you're telling yourself that you don't love yourself. But the more you love yourself and not expect other people to love you, the more you find that they actually do. Because loving yourself radiates energy. Loving yourself, having self-love, having self-acceptance radiates energy. People can feel it, actually. Like if you're walking down the street and you're smiling and you feel like you're in love with yourself, that shows a lot of confidence, and this will make other people also show love and accept you. So, or the same with respect. Like I can't just come to you and say, hey, you need to respect me. I demand respect. That's not how it works. The more you expect other people to respect you, the less they actually will. The more we respect other people, the more we will be respected by them. Respect is not something that you demand. Respect does not and should not come from fear. It should come first of all, self-respect, having respect for yourself, and then other people will find that and respect you as well. The same is true with trust. The more you try to persuade people to believe in you, to trust you, to have faith in you, the less likely they are to do so. But the more you put your trust in other people, you say, hey, I trust you, the more they will put their trust in you. So everything is backwards in life. There's a lot of unlearning we need to do, because in society and growing up, we learn things differently. So I think sometimes we should do unlearning. It's not always about learning, it's about unlearning. Things that you learned in the past that you no longer believe, you have to remove those. And when you learn new things that you believe to be true, then you start believing in those. Like the backwards law, I'm telling you. First time I actually read about that, the backwards law, was from this book. I don't want to say the name, The Subtle Art of Not Giving but it's a really good book. Talks a lot about the backwards law and the counterintuitive approach to living a good life, by Mark Manson. That's the author. The same is true with confidence. The more you try to feel confident, like, yeah, I just want to be confident, but it's like fake confidence, the more insecurity, or the more insecure and anxious you'll become. But the more at ease you feel in your own skin, the more you accept your own flaws and your weaknesses, the more confident you will feel. Everything is kind of backwards. The same is true with change. The more desperately you want to change yourself, the more you feel inadequate. The more you'll feel that you're not good enough. But the more you accept yourself and love yourself, the more you'll grow, the more you'll evolve, because you'll be too focused with doing cool stuff, growing, that you have no time to pay attention that you're weak, or you have mistakes, or you have errors, because you're so busy growing. So these are just some examples that I wanted to share with you guys. I'm literally just reading ideas from that article on theknowledge.io. And I wanted to share it with you guys because it really resonates with me. I love this idea, because everyone is trying to be happy. Everyone is trying to get somewhere and become successful in life. And you look at social media, everything is about fame. Everything is about being number one and being a superstar and becoming famous and all of that. But the truth of the matter is, those are not ways to achieve true happiness. True happiness is taking a deep breath, being grateful and satisfied with where you are, and work from there. And you don't have to meet society's expectations. You have to meet your own expectations. And as long as you're creating value, you have a deep purpose that you want to serve other people, you want to help other people, you want to build skills that can help other people, then you don't need so much to be happy, because happiness it's inside you. And once you find it, you don't have to go anywhere looking for it, because the whole time it's been with you.